Today we are going to learn to create a contact form using contact form 7. Now we're working in WordPress, building the website, and I make videos such as this one for my students so that they can have a tutorial to follow in case they missed something in class. If you're not one of my students, you would want to know that we do have a couple things that you would need to have already installed on your computer for this to work. So if we go to plugins, you're going to see that I have Elementor installed, and that's one of the most important things for today, that we're going to have that installed. And I just activated this one because I guess I had forgotten to do that. But we're going to need to have 2 more plugins for this to work. So I'm going to add new plugin, and I'm going to search, and it is called Essential Addons for Elementor. Here we go. And so I'm going to install this, and I'm going to activate it. Now I have another one that I need to put in here, and that is the Contact Form 7 plugin. So I'll search for this one and install and activate. All right, so we got that now, and go to the dashboard, and what you'll see is we now have this new thing in our dashboard, Essential Add-on. All right, now we are going to do a couple things in here, and this could look different in a year or two from when I make this. In the past, they used to have the first screen would say, do you want a basic setup or do you want to do it manually? And I would always select the basic setup, but it's that screen isn't here this time. But I am going to go to Elements, and with the Elements, I am going to be looking down to find Contact Form 7, and I want to make sure that this is turned on, and it is here, so that's good. And as long as that's turned on, that's what I want for now. But you'll see there's lots of other things that you can use this with as well, WooCommerce in particular if you have a store. Okay, so I'm going to save settings. Although I haven't made any changes yet, so there really isn't anything for me to save. But if you did change something, if you had to toggle on Contact Form 7, then you would save here. But if you didn't make any changes, it won't have you save anything. Okay, so we are done with that part. What we're going to do next is we are going to go to Pages, and we are going to add a new page, and we are going to call this the Contact. And if you remember, whatever I name it here is what will show up in my menu. So I don't want to say Contact Form unless I want my menu to say Contact Form. Usually it's easiest just to do that. And I'm going to do Publish, Publish. Then I'm going to edit with Elementor. And if you don't know how to use Elementor, I have other videos that teach about using it, but for today I'm just going to assume you know how to use Elementor. All right, so here you're going to see that we have I'm going to just close this for a second, close some of these tabs, because I want to show you that we have a new set of commands here called Essential Add-ons, and this is what we're looking for here. And I want to bring Contact Form 7 over here. Okay, now it's going to ask select a contact form, and we're going to say Contact Form 1, and this will give us this default here. And so with the default, let me just kind of explain to you what these different things are called and how we edit it over here. So first of all, where you see your name, your email, subject, your message, these are called labels, and I want them clicked on to show so people know what to know what to write in here. So I'm going to have that clicked on for that to show. And if we could give it a title. If we have a title, I could say something like, let's connect. And so I could have a title there. I could have a form description if I want to turn that on. Please feel free to ask me any questions. Okay, so that's what I can have there. Okay, so we get an idea of what those things are called. Let's take a look at the style and what we can do with the style. So I'm selecting the edit container here, and as I get to the layout, I'm going to go to the style, and I could put a background in it if I wanted to. I could choose a color. So there we have that. I could also potentially, if I want, put in an image. So if I add an image, go to my media library, and I find you need a picture in which that you don't need to see the entire picture, because some of it will be where you can't, it's when we have these entry boxes, the data boxes here, it covers up the picture. So something nature often works best if we're going to be doing a picture. But actually, I'm not going to do a picture right here, so I'm going to trash it, take it out. Yes, I do want to clear it. That's fine. And I'm going to go back and put that in just so that we can see what we're doing here. Okay. I want to make one or two more changes. I'm going to go down to the settings over here, and I want to make it so this title does not show, so I'm going to say hide title, and I'm going to change my page layout. I prefer to work with Elementor full width page layout, so I am going to make that change, and I am going to update. Now let's look at some other elements that we can edit. So let's say I want to change the font that's in my labels. So let me click on the edit button in the right, and I'm going to go to style. I am going to scroll down, find labels, and now I could apply the font from my global fonts if I want. So let's say I want to do that one, and if I look at it, I'm like, I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. Then I can go in here and I can increase the size if I would like to do so. And I can make it bolder if I wanted to. Okay, so that's the labels. I can also edit the fonts for the title and description if you decided to put them in. And there's a submit button that's down here, and you can change the submit button. You can change the color of the rectangle. You can change the color of the text. So here you would change that button. So say I want to do here, and then I want to change the text color, and if I want it to have a border or not, I can do that. And I can change the border radius. Oops, wrong way. So I can change it. This is more like a pill shape. So you can play around with that. You can play around with the border color. So that's in the normal state, which is what it would look like when somebody's just comes to this contact page. And this is what it will look like. We could get a hover state as well, and we could kind of make it the opposite. The hover state, we could put that as the background color, and we could do the green, and so we could do the border color the same there. And so now when you hover over it, it looks different. This helps people to recognize that there's a link here and that it's clickable. Okay, so I'm going to update all of this. And so you can just kind of click around, check around, click into these different things, and see what types of things that you can edit. But for now, I am done in this part. I'm going to want to next make some changes by adding a label here. I'm going to assume that I want to add a label that says your phone number. But before I do that, I want to be able to save this as a template. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to click on the tic-tac-toe edit container box, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to save it as a template. And so I'm going to name it contact page 1, save, and I am now going to X out of there, and now I'm going to go into the place where I can make more substantive changes to the contact form. When we're in Elementor, we're really just making design choices, but if I want to make content choices, I have to go elsewhere. So I am going to click on the hamburger menu, and I'm going to exit, and I now have contact on here. I'm going to click on contact, and you can see that I have contact form 1, and I'm going to click on edit. So this is how we make content changes, is in this area. And so this is basically coding, and we're going to, if we want to make a change, we are going to be very, very minimal in what we do. Okay, so I want to make your phone number. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this, so I have all that coding there. And let's say I want to have your phone number to go after your email. So I just put a couple spaces in there. Now I'm going to paste this in. Next, I am going to delete everything that comes before that little caret on this line. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go over to text, and I'm going to write your phone number, and I'm going to insert tag. So now it says your phone number, and I just put a little space there because all the other ones have a space here and here. I'm just going to say your phone number. Let's save. And now let's go back and take a look at our contact page. So I'm going to go to Pages, going to edit with Elementor, and now we have it. Your phone number is in there. So that's how we make some of these basic changes. So have fun. Take a look at all the different things you can do here, and maybe there's one more thing I want to mention, and that would be the margins. If you notice, this is so very close to the line, and maybe I want to bring it in a bit more. So I could unlink. So if I went to basically, I had clicked on the edit button, and then clicked on advanced. I came to margins, and I unlinked the values because I only want to really bring in that left margin. And so at the left margin, I am going to give it a larger margin, and that way it's a little bit more breathing space there. overall, the contact page could be one of the easiest setups that you have to create your particular website pages. So in my class, you're required to have a contact page, and most students will have the standalone contact page. Some will put the contact form, and they'll load it into a home page or an about page, and that's okay too. But it's one of the requirements for my class to have a contact page and have fun doing it. But it's one of those that you can knock out in a couple hours. It just probably takes 15 minutes to set it up, and then maybe an hour or two to play around with the different options to have it to design it and have it look like you want it to look. Can't wait to see what you've all created.